The grand hall of the Galactic Council's summit was a cathedral of light and shadow, its walls shimmering with alien glyphs and the pulse of far-flung stars encoded in ethereal glass. Representatives from hundreds of worlds filled the tiers, a kaleidoscope of forms, colors, and motions all gathered under one fragile ideal: peace. But peace was a veneer. Beneath it roiled suspicion, jealousy, and unspoken fears. Earth's delegation, the youngest and least understood member of the Council, sat rigidly in their sector. Their ambassador, Alara Duval, scanned the assembly with sharp green eyes, her voice calm but firm as she spoke in the galactic common tongue. Humanity did not join the Council to be sidelined or dismissed, she declared. We seek partnership and trust, not patronization or suspicion. Around her, the older races exchanged glances. Some were reptilian and scaled, with cold eyes that had seen millennia of galactic wars. Others resembled floating, shimmering masses of light, inscrutable and unblinking. Many bore the marks of countless diplomatic battles, scars, implants, and coded bioluminescence signaling rank. One of the Council's oldest members, a towering figure from the Elnari species, hissed softly from his seat. Your species has risen too quickly. We respect your achievements, but rapid growth breeds recklessness. Ilara's jaw tightened. We have earned our place by merit, not time served. The summit dragged on, voices raised and silenced in turns, political posturing mingled with veiled threats. All the while, Ilara felt the weight of Earth's hopes and fears pressing down on her. Suddenly, the massive chamber dimmed. A priority alert flashed on every screen. The Vesta sector mining colony had gone dark. No transmissions, no distress calls, just silence. The room erupted into murmurs and speculation. The Council's high overseer, a shimmering being known as Kyleth, took the podium. Preliminary scans suggest a catastrophic failure. The Council will investigate and respond accordingly. Ilara stepped forward, voice resolute. With all due respect, silence is not a response. The colony is human. Our people are missing. We demand swift aid and transparency. Kyleth's glow dimmed fractionally, a signal of displeasure. We must avoid rash judgments. The sector is rife with piracy and hazardous anomalies. But it is our people, Ilara insisted. Do you not see? Ignoring this only sows distrust. The Council responded with measured indifference, leaving Earth isolated in its alarm. Back on Earth, the news shattered the fragile calm. Across continents and oceans, billions watched live feeds of the missing colony's last moments. A frantic scramble of miners, a sudden explosion tearing through the asteroid complex. Theories erupted: sabotage, an accident, or worse, covert attack. Ilara's words echoed in the minds of Earth's leaders. They've underestimated us. That's about to change. Behind closed doors, Earth's military commanders convened, their faces hard with determination. General Marcus Venn, veteran of Earth's space defense forces, slammed his fist onto the steel table. If the Council won't act, then we will. No more waiting for permission. His second-in-command, Captain Mira Solis, nodded. We're building more ships in the asteroid yards. AI-controlled drones, silent cruisers. We can strike where they least expect. In the shadows of the war rooms, scientists debated the activation of newly reverse-engineered technology. Artifacts pulled from the ruins of the missing colony. Strange devices of alien origin. Dr. Arun Malik, the lead technologist, warned, "This tech is unstable, but the advantage could be decisive. We risk everything." The answer was unanimous. Risk everything. Meanwhile, the Council's other members whispered behind closed curtains. Some favored tightening sanctions on Earth, branding them a threat. Others secretly admired humanity's grit but dared not speak. Ilara returned to her quarters, weary but unbroken. She stared at the starry sky beyond the window. The same. Sky Earth had only just begun to touch. If they want a war, she thought, they'll get more than they bargained for. The corridors of the Galactic Council's central hub thrummed with whispered rumors and veiled accusations. But nothing prepared humanity for the strike that would rend the fragile peace into bloody shards. Ilara Duval, Earth's ambassador, was en route to the Council's Peace Summit aboard a diplomatic shuttle. The shuttle, sleek and unmistakably human-designed, cut through the void with silent efficiency. Ilara sat composed, reviewing notes for the upcoming session, her mind racing with strategies to regain trust. Then, without warning, alarms blared. The shuttle jolted violently. Lights flickered. A sudden, searing explosion rocked the cabin. Ilara was thrown against her restraints as the hull breached and emergency systems screamed warnings. Outside, the stars fractured into blinding light. The Council's communication network went dark. The attack was swift, precise, and unprovoked. A betrayal as blatant as it was brutal. When the emergency broadcast cut out mid-sentence, billions across Earth and the wider galaxy watched in horror. Ilara's final transmission was a cry for peace that dissolved into static. On Earth, the footage was more than a tragedy. It was a declaration of war. Public outrage exploded in every city, every settlement, every corner of the planet. Human voices, long tempered by diplomacy, rose in fierce defiance. In the sprawling command center beneath Earth's capital, General Marcus Venn paced restlessly. The screen before him showed the Council's official response: condemnation of Earth, accusations of aggression, and demands that human fleets stand down. Venn's jaw clenched. They think they can break us with lies. They don't understand what they're dealing with. Captain Mira Solis stepped forward, her expression grim but determined. We have to act before the Council's narrative becomes the accepted truth. The public demands strength. The Council's betrayal galvanized Earth's leaders into action. Their decision was clear: no more subservience, no more waiting for permission. Across the globe, factories and shipyards surged with activity. In secret asteroid docks, warships rose like iron titans, sleek and silent, bristling with new weaponry. AI drones swarmed through orbital hangars, their programming honed for swift, lethal precision. Yet beneath the surface of military might, a deeper resolve simmered. Dr. Aaron Malik, overseeing the integration of alien technology into human designs, addressed a room of engineers. This isn't just about weapons, he said. It's about survival. We're crafting a future where humanity will never be betrayed again. The Council, meanwhile, spun their narrative with practiced ease. Earth was painted as the aggressor, reckless and dangerous, a rogue state threatening galactic order. In the public forums of distant star systems, debates raged. Many species sided with the Council, wary of humanity's rapid rise and unpredictable nature. Others, however, whispered of the Council's hypocrisy, sensing the cracks beneath the polished facade. Amid this chaos, a message from the human resistance faction surfaced, a faction neither Council nor Earth officially endorsed but fueled by the rage of betrayed citizens. They broke the pact, their communique declared, and we will respond in kind. Ilara's surviving aides worked frantically to decode intercepted Council communications. What they uncovered confirmed their worst fears: plans to isolate Earth, sabotage its colonies, and maintain a stranglehold on humanity's expansion. A clandestine meeting deep beneath the Earth's surface, Ilara met with General Venn and Captain Solis. The room was tense but resolute. We no longer seek their approval, Ilara said. We will show the galaxy what humanity is capable of when cornered. General Venn's voice was steel. The Council thinks they can starve us into submission. Instead, they'll learn what happens when you ignite Earth's wrath. Outside, the chambers, the world held its breath. The Council's next moves would determine whether humanity bent beneath its yoke or shattered the chains forever. And somewhere deep in the void, Earth's fleets began their silent dance of preparation, a deadly promise cloaked in shadow and steel. Earth had gone dark, not in the way one might imagine. No sudden silence, no blackout that screamed panic, but in a calculated, deliberate withdrawal. The usual hum of interstellar communications, the diplomatic chatter and trade negotiations, all fell silent. On the surface, Earth's cities thrummed with life. But deep beneath the oceans and within the hollowed mountains, something far greater stirred. General Marcus Venn stood before a hollow map in the subterranean command chamber, the flickering blue star fields and red blinking dots marking shipyards, outposts, and hidden bases. Around him, officers and technicians worked with precise urgency, a symphony of whispered commands and keystrokes. "The Council expects submission," Ven said, voice hard as steel. "They think we'll fold. But this silence, they don't realize. It's the calm before their storm." Nearby, Captain Mira Solis inspected the newest of Earth's warships. Sleek, angular vessels designed for stealth, speed, and overwhelming firepower. Their hulls shimmered with adaptive camouflage, their weapons primed to strike with ruthless efficiency. "These drones," she said, holding up a compact model, "are not just scouts. They're hunters, programmed to infiltrate and cripple before the enemy even knows what hit them." But the heart of Earth's transformation wasn't just in steel or AI. It was in the minds of its people. Dr. Aaron Malik paced in the research bay, surrounded by holographic projections of alien artifacts recovered from the lost Vesta Sector colony. Devices that hummed with unknown energies, radiated faint pulses of dark matter, technology that defied current understanding. "We're pushing the boundaries," Malik admitted, rubbing his tired eyes. "These artifacts hold the key to weapons and defenses that could change everything, but it's risky. The tech is unstable, could blow us sky high if mishandled." A young technician whispered, "What choice do we have? The Council has turned its back on us. If we don't take this chance, someone else will." Malik nodded slowly, the weight of responsibility pressing on him. "Then we proceed, carefully, but with resolve." Far above the planet, Earth's satellites and listening posts were shuttered. The once bustling comm channels went silent, replaced by encrypted transmissions only a few could decode. Humanity had become a ghost in the galactic network, a shadow preparing to strike. The Council reacted with confusion and unease. "Earth's silence is a threat," growled High Commander Threx of the Vlorian Empire during an emergency session. His 3 eyes glinted with suspicion. "We must pressure them to obey or we risk destabilizing the entire sector." Others murmured agreement, but some voices were hesitant. "I warn caution," said Elder Shial, a venerable member of the Council from the Seraphine cluster. "Humanity is unpredictable. To underestimate them is to invite disaster." But the die was cast. The Council tightened sanctions, cut off trade routes, and deployed spies, agents sent to infiltrate Earth's networks, to gather intelligence to sabotage. Back in Earth's command center, a briefing unfolded. "Spies are being detected and neutralized swiftly," reported Solis, eyes sharp on the data streams. "Our counterintelligence is outpacing theirs." Ven smirked. "Good, let them try. Every move they make will be 2 steps ahead." But even as Earth prepared its fleet and forged new weapons, a quiet tension grew beneath the surface, between those who believed in diplomacy still and those who demanded total retribution. Among the engineers, a heated debate broke out. "Turning ourselves into war machines will only destroy us from within," argued Dr. Lena Harris, a philosopher turned technologist. "We must not lose our humanity in this fight," Malik countered firmly. "Humanity is not lost when it fights for survival. It is forged stronger. Our ancestors survived storms far worse than this, and we will too." Outside the lab's reinforced glass, a lone figure watched the preparations from a shadowed observation deck. Ambassador Alara Duval, once a hopeful diplomat, now the voice of Earth's indomitable will, clenched her fists. "The Council's betrayal did not break us," she whispered. "It awakened the fire in our veins. Let them come. We are ready." The months that followed were a blur of creation and concealment. Warships slid through asteroid belts hidden from prying eyes. AI minds simulated battles, refining strategies that combined human unpredictability with machine precision. In the dark depths of Earth's shipyards, a new doctrine was born, one that rejected the Council's old rules of measured response. "Proportionality is a weakness," General Ven declared. "When they stab you in the back, you do not offer a hand. You strike with everything you have." And humanity did just that. The galaxy was caught off guard. For decades, the Council's dominion had seemed unshakable. Their outposts, fortresses, of technology and military might, guarded key points across space like impenetrable stars. No one expected Earth to emerge from its silence with such lethal precision. But when the first pulse hit, there was no warning. Deep within the shadow of an asteroid belt in the Vesta sector, an Earth warship slipped through the sensor net like a ghost. Its hull was dark as void, its engines humming the quiet song of stealth technology perfected through years of relentless development. Captain Mira Solis gripped the command console, eyes locked on the holomap. 30 minutes to target. No transmissions, no chatter, just silence. Confirm weapon systems ready, she ordered. Ready and synced, responded the weapons officer. Solis's lips curled into a cold smile. Initiate Operation Iron Dagger. Simultaneously, across the outer edges of Council, space, hidden fleets of sleek cruisers and swarms of AI-controlled drones moved with synchronized precision. Each ship targeted one of the Council's strategic military stations, the very bastions that had sanctioned Earth's isolation and sought to choke its growth. At first contact, Earth's ships unleashed a storm of kinetic strikes, plasma bursts, and precision torpedoes. Space erupted in bursts of fire and shrapnel. The Council outposts, confident in their defenses, scrambled fighters and activated shields, but their systems faltered. The difference was brutal efficiency. Earth's AI warships adapted instantly to shield frequencies, breached security protocols, and delivered devastating blows before the enemy could mount an effective counterattack. In the command bridge of a Council war station, Admiral Traylock barked orders, his multiple eyes wide with disbelief. Shields failing on the southern quadrant. We're losing weapons control. Report the attacker. Unknown signature, Captain, a young officer shouted. No prior detection. It was inside the sensor blind spots. Traylock cursed. They knew our protocols. This isn't just war. This is a calculated execution. Back on Earth's flagship, the Intrepid, Captain Solis received the confirmation. Over 30 Council stations crippled or destroyed in less than 10 minutes. Message for all channels, she said, voice steady but fierce. The comm officer transmitted a simple, unyielding statement, broadcast across all frequencies in hundreds of languages. You drew first blood. You will not draw second. Across Council systems, panic rippled through the ranks. Council leaders called emergency. Summits desperate to regroup and counterattack. But their forces were fractured, their strategies compromised by Earth's superior understanding of their weaknesses. Within Earth's fleet, Ilara Duval watched the campaign unfold via encrypted feeds. The diplomat-turned-warrior felt a grim satisfaction in the precision of the strike. They expected a pleading human race, she said quietly to General Venn. Instead, they have unleashed a force born from betrayal and steel. Venn nodded. This is just the beginning. The Council underestimated us for too long. Now, they'll learn what it means to awaken the wrath of Earth. But even amidst the firestorm of destruction, the human commanders maintained discipline. No civilian worlds were targeted. No indiscriminate massacres. We are not conquerors, Venn reminded his officers. We are avengers, swift, precise, and just. Yet as the campaign continued, cracks appeared within the Council itself. Some members demanded peace negotiations, others called for ruthless retaliation, while a few quietly sought alliances with Earth's newfound power. In a hidden chamber on Cathera Prime, the jewel of the Council and seat of its central command, a faction of dissenters whispered among themselves. If this continues, a soft voice warned, the entire Council will fall. But the fires of war had already been lit, and from the shadows of space, Earth's fleet vanished as silently as it had struck, leaving behind a message burned into the core of Council systems. We will not be broken. We will not be silenced. We will not be betrayed again. Cathera Prime loomed large in the void, a gleaming world of swirling silver cities and jagged crystal spires, the heart of the Galactic Council's power. It was a symbol of ancient might, protected by fleets of warships and battalions of elite guards who had never known defeat. Until now. Captain Mira Solis stood on the command bridge of the Intrepid, her eyes fixed on the immense holographic display of Cathera Prime's defenses. Satellites, orbital cannons, drone swarms, and shield arrays formed an almost impenetrable barrier around the planet's surface. Intel confirms Council reinforcements inbound, the tactical officer reported, but our fleet outnumbers them by 2 to 1. Ilara Duval joined Solis, her calm diplomacy replaced by a fierce determination. This is the moment we show the galaxy who humanity truly is. The assault began in silence. Earth's fleet emerged from the hidden folds of space, slicing through Council patrols with surgical strikes, disabling long-range sensors and communications. The Intrepid led the vanguard, sending swarms of drones to infiltrate and disrupt the outer defenses. The Council's orbital stations exploded in waves of fire, their once mighty shields flickering and failing under the relentless pressure. Below, the people of Cathera Prime watched the skies ignite in a ballet of destruction, simultaneously, terrified and awed by the force bearing down on them. Inside the Council's capital, Admiral Traylock stared at the feat of the battle, disbelief and fury twisting his features. "They fight with human fury," he growled, and with alien precision. On the ground, the Council's elite guards mobilized, but their tactics, honed for centuries of political enforcement, faltered against Earth's adaptability. General Marcus Venn's voice echoed through the comms. "Focus on the energy grid. Without power, their defenses crumble." Solis's drones zipped through sensor arrays, delivering disabling strikes while human pilots maneuvered their cruisers with deadly grace. The battle was brutal and swift. When Cathera Prime's primary shield generator exploded in a blinding flash, the Council's forces fell into chaos. Human warships seized the opportunity, penetrating the atmosphere and deploying specialized troops. On the surface, amidst the ruins of ancient temples and gleaming towers, the ground war raged. Earth's soldiers fought not as conquerors but as liberators, carefully avoiding civilian casualties, dismantling oppressive symbols of the Council's reign. Amid the chaos, a Council diplomat, Lyra Sakan, approached a wounded Earth soldier, confusion and fear etched on her face. "Why do you fight with such honor?" she asked, her voice trembling. Captain Solis paused, meeting Lyra's gaze. "Because we are not the monsters they painted us to be. We fight for a future where betrayal ends." The fall of Cathera Prime shattered the Council's illusion of invincibility. News spread quickly, sparking rebellions on other Council worlds, inspiring species long oppressed to rise. But victory came at a cost. Earth's leaders, haunted by the destruction, convened a solemn council. "We cannot become what we fight against," Ilara said. "Our strength must build, not break." General Venn nodded, but the fire in his eyes never dimmed. "The Council's time is over. But vigilance must never waver." From the ashes of the fortress, a new alliance began to form, a fragile coalition of species seeking truth and justice beyond old rivalries, and humanity stood at its center, not as rulers, but as the spark of a new dawn. The fall of Cathera Prime reverberated across the stars like a shockwave, shaking the very foundations of the Galactic Council. Once a monolith of order and control, the Council now showed cracks, fractures of doubt, fear, and ambition. In the smoke-filled chambers beneath the Council's shattered capital, secret meetings took place. Masks concealed the faces of dissenters, species, and factions desperate to salvage power or seize it for themselves. High Overseer Calith, once a luminous beacon of unity, now appeared dimmer, his glow flickering with uncertainty. "Earth's defiance threatens all we built," he intoned. "We must strike from within, sow discord, undermine their alliances, fracture their unity." A cloaked figure stepped forward, a human sympathizer turned traitor, codename Mara. Her eyes glinted with cold calculation. "The Council's spies on Earth are weak, but I have access to their networks. I can infiltrate their systems, disrupt communications, and turn their own technology against them." Calith nodded slowly. "Then act swiftly. If Earth's coalition breaks, the Council can reclaim its hold. Thousands of light-years away on Earth, the victory celebrations were tempered by vigilance. The new coalition, composed of human allies and newly freed Council species, faced its own challenges. Ilara Duval sat in a council chamber filled with representatives from dozens of worlds. Her gaze swept over faces that ranged from hopeful to wary. "We've won a great battle," she began, "but the war is far from over. The Council will fight back, not just with fleets but with lies and treachery. We must remain united." General Marcus Venn leaned forward. "Our intelligence warns that sabotage and espionage will escalate. We need stronger defenses and deeper trust." In the shadows of the chamber, a whisper of dissent rose. Some older species questioned humanity's growing influence. "Can Earth's wrath be tempered?" they murmured. "Or will it consume us all?" Meanwhile, on Earth's orbital station, the first signs of betrayal emerged. Mara's cyber attack was subtle. A flicker in the ship's systems, a delayed signal, a corrupted data stream. At first, the technicians shrugged it off as glitches, but soon crucial information leaked. Fleet movements, weapon blueprints, and diplomatic communications fell into unknown hands. Dr. Aron Malik stared at the logs in disbelief. "Someone inside is sabotaging us." Captain Solis's voice was cold. "Find the mole, now." A tense hunt began, weaving through encrypted files and covert operations. Suspicion gnawed at even the closest allies. Ilara convened a special tribunal. "Trust is our greatest weapon and our greatest vulnerability," she said. "We cannot afford fractures." Through the investigation, Mara's identity surfaced. Once a respected liaison, now a shadow of betrayal. "Cornered," Mara confessed, revealing not just her actions but a chilling truth. Factions within the Council were negotiating with separatists on the fringes, ready to unleash mercenaries and dark tech against Earth. The revelation sent ripples through Earth's coalition. The fight was no longer just military. It was a battle for survival on every front. In a quiet moment, Ilara stood overlooking Earth's glowing cities from the orbital station. "We carry the future," she whispered. "But that future demands sacrifice and unyielding strength." The war had entered a new phase, a shadow war, waged not just in starships but in minds, networks, and hearts, and humanity was ready. The war had entered a shadowy phase, but the fires of resistance burned brighter than ever. Captain Mira Solis paced the bridge of the Intrepid, her fingers tightening around the command rail. The latest intelligence had confirmed the Council's. Separatist mercenaries were massing near the planet Darvos, a critical supply hub for the Coalition. "Darvos is a choke point," General Marcus Venn said grimly during a secure briefing. "If they seize it, our supply lines collapse and the Coalition fractures." Ilara Duval's voice cut through the tension. "We must hold Darvos at all costs. The Council underestimates humanity's resilience." As the fleet raced toward Darvos, the tension among Earth's allies was palpable. Doubts whispered in council halls and among soldiers alike. Could this fragile coalition withstand the onslaught? Could Earth's wrath truly protect so many? Solis stood beside Ilara in the Fleet Command Center, watching the vast armada assemble like a living beast. Each ship hummed with purpose, every pilot ready to gamble their lives for freedom. The battle began in a blur of light and sound. The Council's mercenary fleet struck with brutal ferocity. Swift frigates, heavily armed cruisers, and swarms of drone fighters descended on Darvos's orbit. But Earth's fleet was waiting. The Intrepid led the counterattack, weaving through laser fire, launching volleys of plasma missiles that lit the void with deadly precision. AI warships synchronized attacks to overwhelm the enemy's shields and disrupt their formations. Yet the mercenaries fought with savage cunning, exploiting every weakness. Solis's ship took a direct hit, shaking violently, alarms blaring. "Damage. Report Gimentar," she barked. "Hull breach in the aft section. Shields down to 30%. The officer responded. Solis gritted her teeth. "Divert all power to forward weapons and evasive thrusters. We're not losing this fight." Below decks, human and alien engineers worked feverishly to patch systems and reconfigure energy flows. Dr. Aaron Malik coordinated emergency repairs, his voice steady despite the chaos. Outside, the battle raged, dogfights weaving between the planet's rings, explosions blossoming in space like deadly flowers. Suddenly, a fleet of Council reinforcements appeared, sleek battleships armed with experimental weaponry that could disable entire squadrons in a single blast. The tide threatened to turn. But humanity's advantage lay not in brute force alone. Captain Solis activated a new protocol, an adaptive AI network designed to learn and anticipate the enemy's tactics in real time. Deploying Synapse Override, she announced. Across the fleet, systems synced, reacting faster than ever before. Enemy strikes were predicted moments before execution. Countermeasures launched with surgical precision. The Council's mercenary fleet faltered. On the ground, coalition forces rallied, using the orbital battle's momentum to push back the enemy's foothold. As the dust settled, Darvos remained in coalition hands. Exhausted but triumphant, Solis and Ven shared a rare moment of relief. "We held the line," Ven said, clapping her on the shoulder. "But the war is far from over," Solis replied. "They'll come at us harder, smarter." Ilara's voice crackled over comms. "Darvos is a symbol now, a beacon of hope. We must use it to unite the coalition." That night, as stars glittered over Earth's night skies, messages of solidarity streamed in from countless worlds. The tide was turning. But in the shadows, the Council's High Overseer Calith seethed. "Humanity's fire burns brighter," he snarled. "But flames can be snuffed out." His gaze settled on a new weapon, a secret project hidden deep within Council labs, one that promised to tip the scales of war once and for all. And Earth, burning with wrath and hope, would have to face its greatest trial yet. The calm before the storm was shattered in an instant. Across the galactic network, an ominous signal pulsed. An ancient weapon awakened, long buried beneath the heart of the Council's core world. The Oblivion Lance, a device capable of erasing entire star systems in a single blast, had been activated. High Overseer Calith's voice thundered through Council chambers. "Let Earth feel the full weight of our judgment. Let their rebellion be extinguished in cosmic fire." In Earth's orbital command, alarms screamed. Captain Mira Solis stood rigid, eyes locked on the holomap flashing with warnings. General Marcus Ven's voice was steady, but grim. "We knew this day might come. The Oblivion Lance is no myth. It's the ultimate doomsday weapon." Ilara Duval addressed the coalition. "This is not just a battle for Earth. It is a fight for every free world, every life that dares to defy tyranny. We stand united or we fall divided." The fleet mobilized, but the Oblivion Lance's destructive reach was vast. Within moments, entire star systems blinked out, obliterated by waves of energy that twisted space and time itself. Amid the devastation, Earth's scientists raced against the clock. Dr. Arun Malik led a desperate effort to develop a countermeasure, an energy shield capable of dispersing the Lance's catastrophic beam. "We're pushing physics to its limits," Malik warned. "But if we fail, there won't be a tomorrow." On the front line, Captain Solis piloted the Intrepid toward the Council's core planet, a blazing beacon amidst the swirling wreckage of stars. The final battle was upon them. The Council's warships converged in a deadly formation to protect the weapon. Laser fire and plasma cascaded through space in a furious storm. Solis's crew fought with unyielding resolve, weaving through enemy fire, striking with precision, born of desperation and hope. General Ven coordinated fleet maneuvers, calling in reinforcements from every corner of the coalition. "This is our moment. We cannot let the Lance fire again." As the Intrepid approached the surface, a squad of elite soldiers prepared for a ground assault. Their mission: disable the Lance's core. Ilara Duval watched from the flagship, the weight of countless lives on her shoulders. "We carry the future of humanity and all who stand with us." The ground assault was brutal. The Council's defenders were fanatical, but the human-led forces pressed on, driven by a fury forged in betrayal and sacrifice. In the heart of the weapons chamber, Captain Solis and her squad faced the final barrier, a shield pulsing with raw energy. "Malik, can your shield hold long enough?" Solis demanded. "Just enough," came the reply through comms. With a coordinated strike, the squad breached the shield generator. Explosions rocked the chamber as systems overloaded. Back in orbit, the fleet held off the last of the Council's warships, buying precious minutes. Then, silence. The Oblivion Lance powered down. A roar erupted from the coalition forces. Ilara's voice echoed across the fleet. "Today we claim not just victory, but a new dawn. Let the galaxy know, Earth will not be broken. We will rise, united and unyielding." From the ashes of war, the Council fractured, its remnants dissolving into the stars. Humanity stood tall, not as conquerors, but as guardians of a new order built on justice, resilience, and hope. The wrath that had ignited in betrayal now burned as a beacon, a testament that even in the darkest times, humanity's spirit could not be extinguished.